Good morning. My name's Daniel Sweetser, and I'm reading through a novel I just finished up, Hope Starts Small. And this morning I'll be reading Chapter 2, Section 5, The Sale. Frank and Constance had planned to pack up and have everyone head out to the hotel, including Constance's mother, Oma. Frank packed the car and headed over to be the advance team, setting up cribs and beds and food for their brief stay. But when Frank arrived, everything began to fall apart. He had chosen the hotel by price and discovered very quickly that it was meant best for construction crews, rough and tumble types who didn't mind sticky floors and odd smells. He became less and less comfortable, especially with the prospect of bringing the baby there. Then, to add to the trouble, he discovered that the key system was down for the entire hotel. This meant that the only way into your room, if you were alone, was by permission with the help of the solitary employee on duty at the hotel. Against reason, he still emptied the car. But the more he worked, the more concerned he became, and so at a certain point, he called Constance and told her his concerns. Her reaction was as you might expect. She was not interested in going there with the baby and her elderly mother. And so now they had a big problem. They were supposed to be gone early the next day. Frank and Constance prayed for help, and then Constance began to look for alternatives. In short order, by the mercy of God, she found a cute whole house rental for significantly less cost than the hotel. Frank promptly returned to the hotel, retrieved their belongings, and let the staff know they would need to cancel their reservation. The next morning they left and made their way to the rental. It was perfect, cute, comfortable, big TV, whole kitchen. Oma felt at home, baby Lily was in a room where she could sleep comfortably, and the kids got to watch their favorite shows. Frank had also gotten presents for them to pass the time, and so they played. Meanwhile, the realtor kept seeing issues at the house, and Frank kept fixing them. There was an old, unsightly spot in the garage ceiling that took a late night to patch. Odds and ends around the house were addressed, and then the day came of the open house. They were inundated with prospective buyers from start to finish. The realtor was ecstatic, exhausted, and hopeful. As the rest of that week progressed, there were many more showings every day, and all the while Frank and his family were comfortably sequestered in the rental. After each day's showings, Frank would go to the house to check on it. He ended up doing some funny detective work, seeing where people had rooted around and determining that certain areas needed more work. He did what he could. He would walk through and button things up for the next day's visitors. And of course, he would check on the blueberries, who were still quietly growing under an LED plant light in front of the fireplace. After the week of being away, Frank and his family returned to their home. Over the next few days, there were a handful of additional showings, and in the chaos of trying to get all the kids, Oma, and the dogs into the car with little notice, they became ever more thankful that they were gone the week before. But they made it through, and finally their realtor agreed they could stop showing. The day that delayed negotiations began, Frank, Constance, and the realtor sat in the kitchen of the house and were looking at 13 offers on the table. The top offer was a conventional loan, but the one right below it was a cash offer for someone who owned a plant nursery. This appealed to Frank's nonlinear brain, while the stability of the offer appealed to the realtor. And even though it was not the top offer, it was still 50% higher than when Frank and Constance had bought the house. Ultimately, it was the cash offer they accepted, with a contingency that the family would need to find suitable housing. That was such an ominous phrase, but they knew going in that this would be the only way forward. and so they signed the papers. Frank's family would need to find another place to live, and hopefully it would be somewhere they could put down roots. All right. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day.